Hi everyone, welcome back to another 5-minute top tip video. This time we're talking about a concept I absolutely love, the wonderful principle of psychological flow. What, you might ask? Let's get started. What types of activities are you engaging in when you are at your most brilliant? How often do you leave your working day energized and deeply fulfilled by the work you've contributed? Often, sometimes, rarely? Your response could very well be representative of the extent to which you are engaging in something we term flow. Some of you might have heard about this concept before, but some of you might not have a clue what I'm talking about, so I'm going to talk you through it. Flow is a state of mind. It's a mental state of immersion. And this state of immersion has a particular feel about it, one that you will all recognize and have experienced. Have you ever been so focused on something that you lost track of time? If so, it's probable you were engaged in flow. You may even have forgotten to take care of your basic needs in this time, like drinking the coffee you made or even going to the loo. When you finished the activity and came up for air, not only might you have noticed that time's whizzed by, but also you may have felt a great sense of achievement, even a whoosh of energy and contentment with the output of your efforts. This is the experience of flow. Back in the 1960s, psychologist Mihai Csikszentmihalyi was studying peak performance, looking at when people are able to be at their very best and trying to identify why this was. Time and time again, he came across the same answer: total immersion in the task at hand. Many independently describe this as being caught up and moved in the flow of a river, hence becoming known as the state of psychological flow. As his research developed, Mihai helpfully identified a core set of what he termed flow characteristics. These are things that appear to be present when a person is engaged in flow and open to peak performance. I'll talk you through a few of them. Mihai and his team found that when people are engaged in flow, they are always undertaking an activity that has a high level of challenge for them, something that stretches them, but really importantly, matches their level of skill. He also found that when people are engaged in flow, they're conducting an activity that holds meaning for them, something they feel connected to, that they can see the point of. There is always some intrinsic motivation at play when people are engaged in flow. The research also showed some really important environmental characteristics, which I'm going to highlight too. Firstly, we need a block of time. Around 90 minutes to 2 hours is thought to be optimum to fully engage in flow. The research suggests that a person can't simply dip in and dip out of flow. It doesn't quite work like that way. It's a little bit like sleep. We have stages. We have to gradually get into deep sleep, the same way we have to gradually get into flow in order to be able to do our best sleeping or our best thinking in that particular deep state of mind. Now, we all know that if we're falling asleep and we get woken abruptly by a sound, a noise, or a screaming baby, for example, it's really hard just to get back into deep sleep. It's the same with flow, which brings me to the final characteristic I want to share. Complete concentration. To engage in flow, we have to rid ourselves of interruptions and distractions. No bleeping, no calls, no "can I just have a quick moment?" no conversations, no knocks on the door. These act just the same as the loud sound in the middle of the night and bring us straight out of our state of flow. We all know how hard this is to avoid, but critical in the context of what we're talking about today. I wonder what distractions you find it most challenging to remove. Maybe they're the ones that come from other people, or maybe you self-sabotage and find distractions all by yourself. We often have habits that prevent us from focusing fully. I'll just stick the kettle on, just check my phone, that kind of thing. Whether self-sabotage, the impacts of another, or likely a combination of both, if you want to engage in flow and maximize your chance of peak performance, then finding an uninterrupted block of time is critical to success. So as we come to a close, I want to just think about how we practically bring this together. What activities do you require to engage in flow? Once identified, ask yourself, are these activities challenging and yet suited to my level of skill? Do these activities hold any intrinsic meaning for me? And if the answer is yes, then find and safeguard a 90-minute to 2-hour block of uninterrupted time and let yourself flow. You'll be surprised at not only the quality of work you can produce, but how brilliant you feel after doing it. I know this might seem challenging, but give it a go. Any questions or successes, I'd love to hear from you. So please do reach out. And I will see you again very soon for another coaching tip.